Welcome back to Chat Like a Native, your go-to deep dive for unlocking the secrets to truly natural-sounding English. Today we're plunging into a topic that can genuinely transform your speaking and listening skills, mastering collocations. You know those word partnerships that just click in English? Have you ever found yourself speaking English that's grammatically perfect, every verb tense nailed, every noun in its place, yet it just doesn't quite sound, well, right to a native speaker? Like when you perfectly understand the meaning of do a decision, but, a native speaker would always say, make a decision. If that little scenario hits home for you, then you are absolutely in the right place. Our mission today is to pull back the curtain on these seemingly hidden but incredibly common word pairings. We're going to explore exactly what collocations are, why they're not just important, but frankly fundamental for true fluency. And we'll introduce 5 powerful collocations that you can literally start using today to elevate your English. And then, crucially, share some practical, proven techniques to seamlessly integrate them into your everyday speech. This isn't just another lesson. This deep dive is your direct shortcut to not just knowing English words, but truly using them with confidence, authenticity, and that effortless flow that makes your English sound, well, like a native's.
And that's precisely it. This journey isn't merely about polishing your accent or sounding good. It's really about unlocking a deeper, more intuitive level of communication. When we talk about why it matters, it extends far beyond just, politeness or appearing polished. The real key here is that collocations aren't just arbitrary pairings. They actually reflect the cognitive shortcuts native speakers take. Our brains instinctively group these words because they frequently occur together, which allows for faster processing of information. So when you learn collocations, you're not just memorizing vocabulary. You're actually sort of rewiring your brain to process English more like a native speaker does.
Oh, okay.
And that's precisely why your comprehension and overall fluency can make such a significant leap forward. It's bridging that often frustrating gap between textbook knowledge and truly fluid natural usage.
That concept of cognitive shortcuts is so powerful. It makes so much sense why these feel so natural to native speakers, almost like a prepackaged thought. So let's unpack this a bit more. What exactly are collocations, for those who might be hearing the term for the first time?
Great question. At their simplest, collocations are just habitual word partnerships. They're words that they love to hang out together, so much so that they sound completely natural when paired and maybe a bit odd when they're not. Think of them as word best friends that native speakers use without even a second thought.
Right, like they just belong together.
Exactly. The classic example we often cite is make a decision versus do a decision. While do a decision is grammatically understandable, you can probably figure out what it means. Make a decision just sounds right.
Yeah.
Why? Because it reflects the common, established usage patterns in the language. It's how people actually speak.
It's amazing how much difference one verb can make, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember early in my language learning, I once confidently told someone I was going to do a party instead of have a party.
Oh, yeah.
And the confused look on their face taught me a swift, albeit slightly embarrassing lesson about collocations. It's those little mental speed bumps for the listener that we want to eliminate.
Exactly. And that leads us to a critical point. Why are these specific pairings so profoundly crucial? The core of it is that if you ignore collocations, you risk producing sentences that, even if grammatically impeccable, just feel awkward or non-native.
You just don't land right.
Right. They create those mental speed bumps you mentioned. Mastering them is truly what bridges that gap between simply knowing individual words and being able to use them fluently and naturally in any conversation. And as I mentioned, the impact on comprehension is immense. When you recognize these set phrases instantly in listening or reading, your brain processes that information much more quickly.
Faster processing. Okay.
Which dramatically boosts your overall fluency and, perhaps even more importantly for a learner, their confidence. You start to feel genuinely comfortable navigating the language.
That makes perfect sense. It's like when you hear strong coffee, your brain doesn't have to process strong and then coffee separately. It's almost one unit of meaning. That efficiency speeds things up.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we've really got a handle on what they are and why they matter so much, here's what gets really interesting. Knowing what they are is one thing, but how do we put them into practice? So we're going to give you 5 power collocations. These are incredibly versatile, widely used in all kinds of contexts, and you can start using them today to instantly elevate your English.
Yeah, these aren't just random phrases. They are high-frequency, high-impact collocations. They'll give you a lot of bang for your buck, so to speak.
Our first power collocation, and frankly, this one is probably the most fundamental, is make a decision.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward in its meaning. The act of choosing between options, we talked about it earlier, is the classic example.
And what's key here is understanding that the verb make often implies creation or formation, even of abstract concepts.
Yep.
You make a cake, you make progress, you make a plan. And similarly, you make a decision. This isn't just about rote memorization. It's about kind of grasping the core semantic role of make in English. This phrase is incredibly versatile. It shows up everywhere, from very formal board meetings, the board needs to make a decision by Friday, to the most casual everyday chat with friends. Have you made a decision about dinner yet?
Right, it fits anywhere.
Exactly. You'll hear it in almost any context where a choice needs to be made. It's slightly different from, say, come to a decision, which often implies a longer process. Make a decision can be quick. For practice, try writing maybe 10 sentences using make a decision in different contexts. Think about work, family, travel, anything in your daily life. The more varied the context, the better it sticks.
That versatility is definitely key. And speaking of pivotal choices, sometimes making a decision means you have to.
Take a risk. Our second power collocation. This one means doing something uncertain or daring, where there's a possibility of a negative outcome, but often with potential for reward.
It's interesting how it implies a calculated gamble, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not just being reckless.
Precisely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, take a risk is powerful because it allows for a lot of nuance. You can take a small risk.
Like trying a new restaurant.
Yeah. Or take a huge risk by investing your life savings in a startup. The collocation itself helps convey that scale. It's used a lot in business strategy talk. Entrepreneurs often have to take a risk to innovate. But it's just as common in personal growth or travel stories. I decided to take a risk and try skydiving, even though I'm terrified of heights.
Wow, brave.
A common mistake I sometimes hear is do a risk or make a risk, which just don't fit the pattern. For practice, I highly recommend role-playing conversations. Imagine advising a friend on whether to take a risk in different scenarios like changing jobs, starting a new hobby, that kind of thing. Using it in dialogue really helps.
Role-playing is such an underrated way to practice, definitely. Okay, moving on to number 3. We have pay attention. This means focusing on something carefully. Seems straightforward, doesn't it? But getting that verb pay right is what makes all the difference. Why pay attention, not say give attention?
That's a fantastic question, and it really gets to the heart of those underlying linguistic patterns we talked about. It's fascinating. Pay is often used with abstract nouns related to giving something valuable. You pay respects, you pay a compliment, you pay a visit.
Ah, okay.
And here, you're paying your focus, which is a valuable, limited resource. It's not just giving attention, but actively investing it. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, it really does. Investing focus.
And this phrase is absolutely essential in so many daily interactions. Think about classrooms, please pay attention to the teacher, business meetings. Everyone, pay attention to these figures. Or even just navigating a new city, you need to pay attention to the street signs here. Using to pay attention helps you sound polite and clear when asking others or reminding yourself to concentrate. For example, he didn't pay attention and missed the exit. A really effective practice tip for this one. Record yourself giving short instructions or explanations, maybe just a minute or two.
Okay.
And consciously use pay attention to direct your imaginary listeners. Then play it back and listen. You'll hear how naturally it fits.
I love that insight about paying focus as a valuable resource. It instantly helps clarify why pay is the right verb. All right, our fourth power collocation is strong coffee, and this one defines a highly concentrated or robust brew. Not powerful coffee or heavy coffee, but uniquely strong coffee.
What's truly fascinating here is that while strong perfectly collocates with coffee, this pattern extends to many other nouns. It illustrates a broader principle. For instance, you also hear strong tea, a strong flavor, a strong argument, a strong opinion, or even strong evidence.
Ah, so it's a pattern.
Exactly. Mastering one collocation pattern can open up a pathway to understanding and using many more. It's not just about coffee. You could say, I need a cup of strong coffee before my morning meeting, or he likes strong coffee with a splash of milk. A common mistake here would be using words like intense coffee or heavy coffee, which, while you might understand them, just don't have that native ring to them.
They sound a bit off, yeah.
Yeah. To expand your knowledge here, try substituting strong with other common adjectives related to taste or quality like weak, bitter, or smooth, and simply notice which combinations feel natural and which don't. That active exploration is key.
That's fascinating. It's like finding a secret rule that unlocks a whole family of collocations. And finally, our fifth power collocation is a fantastic one that adds so much flavor to your English. Catch a break. This means experiencing a stroke of good luck, often after a period of difficulty.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, catch a break is what we call an idiomatic collocation. Unlike strong coffee, where strong literally describes the coffee's intensity, catch a break isn't about physically catching anything, its meaning is more abstract. Understanding these idiomatic ones is absolutely crucial for authentic, vibrant speech.
Makes your English more vivid.
Definitely. Far more vivid and engaging than just saying, get lucky or have good fortune. Think about it. After months of job hunting, she finally caught a break when a new opportunity opened up. It paints a picture of relief and positive change, doesn't it?
It really does.
Or, we caught a break when the rain stopped just in time for a picnic. A common error might be get a break or find a break, which, again, don't quite have the same natural feel. For practice, try journaling maybe 5 recent moments in your life when you caught a break. Focus specifically on using the past tense accurately in your writing. It helps lock it in.
These 5 are fantastic starting points. So what does this all mean for you, the listener, now? Knowing these 5 collocations is a great start, but the real challenge is locking them into your active vocabulary so they become automatic so you don't even have to think about them. It's about proven techniques that move beyond simple memorization lists. How do we move learners beyond that stage to truly internalize these?
That's an excellent point, because while memorization has its place, true mastery comes from active engagement. There are several effective methods you can integrate into your learning routine. First, consider keeping a collocation journal. Dedicate a notebook specifically to jot down new collocations you encounter, always with a few example sentences in your own words that relate to your life. That active recording helps cement them. Second, flashcards are incredibly effective, especially for these pairings. On one side, write the main noun, like decision. On the other, write its verb, collocate, make, along with a sample sentence. You could even draw a little picture for idiomatic ones like catch a break to help visualize the abstract meaning.
I always found flashcards helpful, especially for those more abstract concepts. What else works?
A third, and perhaps most crucial technique, is to read and listen extensively. Exposure to native content is paramount. Podcasts like this one, news articles, novels, movie dialogues, they all reveal collocations in their natural context. Listening to shows like Chat Like a Native itself is a great way to hear these natural pairings in action. Pay attention to how words combine.
So active listening and reading.
Yes. Fourth, practice with partners. Role plays and conversation exchanges are invaluable because they force you to actively produce collocations, which deeply reinforces memory. Don't be afraid to try out new phrases. And finally, don't underestimate the power of consulting collocation dictionaries. Online tools like the Oxford Collocations Dictionary are fantastic for exploring other common pairings for a given word. These aren't just tips, they're actionable steps for true mastery. It's a commitment, sure, but the payoff in fluency is immense.
Those are incredibly practical strategies. Sounds like the common thread is active engagement rather than just passive learning. You have to do something with them.
Exactly, you have to use them.
Before we wrap up, how about a quick challenge for our listeners? Think of a common everyday activity, say preparing for work or school in the morning. Can you describe maybe 3 things you make and 3 things you take during that routine using the correct collocations?
Oh, I love that. Like, I make coffee and make breakfast, maybe make my bed, and I take a shower, take the bus, and maybe take my time getting ready.
Perfect. See how natural that sounds. Give it a try yourself. And there you have it. Collocations really are the fundamental building blocks of natural-sounding English. By consciously focusing on these 5 power collocations we discussed today, make a decision, take a risk, pay attention, strong coffee, and catch a break. And diligently applying these structured practice techniques, you will absolutely accelerate your journey toward fluency. Remember the key. Frequent use, diverse contexts, and active recall are the secrets to making these expressions part of your everyday speech. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel until you're using them without even thinking.
And as you start recognizing these subtle yet powerful word partnerships in English, it might just change the way you approach learning any new language, or even, make you think differently about the hidden rules and patterns within your own native language. What other hidden rules of language are out there, just waiting to be discovered? It truly is a journey of discovery. Thank you for taking this deep dive with us today on Chat Like a Native.